Hello, this is Max Stroke. I just want to talk to you about sending emails. A lot of times I'll have a link of something like something that I want to send myself. So I'm reading an article somewhere. And I thought, well, that'd be handy later. I just better grab that information. So what I do is I email myself. Now in Firefox, there's this little email button that you can put in there. You need to then add your email address into there, and then you need to send the button. So to a certain extent, that's a three-step approach. I then found that there was, I ended up with a bookmarklet where you can actually add your email address in there straight away. So I just hit the bookmarklet, and then it automatically fills in your email address. So all you actually need to do is just do the send command on that. So that took it one step less. Another thing that I find is that I do get a whole load of other things in my email box, and I've got older things in there that I want to use, and then other ones, like a lot of these things I send myself, I want to go and revisit at other times. I think, oh, I've got that somewhere. So what I started to do was, when I had actually started to send myself the emails with the bookmarklet, I'll send it through like that, but I do a second step, is that I come into here and I'd go through and I'd put some emojis in the subject header, and I found that was something that actually drew my attention straight away to ones. Now it's particularly useful when you're going back and visiting older ones, because if you look at the new ones, everything's highlighted, so you know that they haven't been read yet. But when you actually look further down, you see the ones which actually don't have anything. They don't draw your eye to them, whereas these ones through, you can clearly see that they're ones that you actually want to see about the topic or the information and quickly do. So I actually find that those highlighting with the emojis was really useful. So I suddenly thought, well, why can't I combine those into a single script to do? Now, when I actually had it and when I was doing it, I suddenly thought, well, okay, then the JavaScript only simplifies things a bit. Now again, you can do this in Firefox because you can use a keyword, so the keyword is actually triggering that actual bit of JavaScript. And the last one that I actually did a thing on using highlighters, I didn't actually put in the bookmarklet there. So on this one here, here's a bookmarklet, and I've highlighted in pink where you actually have to put your email. Just make sure there's no gaps. It's actually the JavaScript reads it all. If there's a gap in it, it just breaks. So just be aware of that. So there was two parts of it. There was one, I was using the bookmarklets, and I was finding I was using the bookmarklets a lot, because then I was sending to myself, and then I'd actually have to make a conscious decision to send to other people if I was doing that. The second part was doing the highlighting, and I actually found that really, really worked for me. The next part was the fact that when I actually created a new script, and I'm just going to go into here. Oh, here we are. So I'm going to create a new script, and I'm just going to call this emo5.order hotkey. Now, a hotkey script is basically just a text file. So in here in emo5, so if I just go in and I actually just copy that information and put it into a new file called that one there, and save it and get out of it, it's running the actual script. Now you see that the emojis look very good and they look fine, but when I actually go into this thing here, launcher, and let's just take that one there and edit, and then say we're going to browse for a file, and we're going to call it the emo5, and go open, OK. So when I actually go to the page that I actually want to send the email from there, I'll just use that and just type T, which is activating that script. It's now, whoops, what the hell's happened there? This is one of the things that goes a bit weird on it. I'm going to try that again. With OBS running, and this is a problem, I can't demonstrate this properly. The OBS seems to be sucking all my resources, and it seems to either slow or speed up or do something with the rhythm, such that it doesn't seem to do. So we'll try that again. It does sort of get there eventually. Here it's coming through and doing it, and there it's done it perfectly. But one of the things which you can look at, instead of the actual emojicons coming through, you find that all it's got, if we go in and actually look at that file when it actually receives, is that it comes in a different way, so that it doesn't actually use the emojicons and the color for the highlighting. It actually puts in this bit of, whoops, wrong one. It puts this bit of scribbly text in. So if we go into the latest one of that, you see it's just got weird text in there. So this is one of the problems where you've got to go into sorry, I had this open before. I ended up having to reboot up. So we're going to go into key working, and we're going to go into bookmarklets. No, I'm actually not in bookmarklets. I'm in my second one. And if we just go in and edit that file, now I'm going to try and edit it in, because I had this difficulty before, and I actually found Notepad++, this actually has an encoding of a UTF-8. If I change it to a UTF-8 BOM, so you change the encoding, you see even in here it's just showing, the shape of it, so it's not showing squiggles to a certain extent. So the UTF is partially working. Now because I've saved that file again, I'm actually just going to close out of it there on that one. If I just come back to that particular web page there again and go Control and Tab, and I'm just going to hit T to activate that. There you actually see the emojicons come through. So the reason I'm sort of doing this is one, for kind of back reference for myself, is that I had the issues of starting off with a simple send email a link of this page to somebody, then getting a shortcut key, a bookmarklet that would actually send it directly to my email, so I didn't have to fill in my email each time. I then had the other point where I did the highlighting, which I find really useful, and then I actually had the problem of being able to convert the file so that the emojis would actually come through, and then the final script where all of these happen is here for you if you want to do that. And the emojis, I actually use Emojipedia to actually get those. So I hope that's been of interest to you. If you found it useful, please give a thumbs up. Otherwise,